What up, guys? So we're here with Khaaliq Dejan, and we're sitting at App Academy on a Monday night. And what's cool about Khaaliq is him and I actually met back in 2014 when I was going through App Academy. Yeah. And at that point, I know I left my job and I moved out to the West Coast to become an engineer. You did the same, so would love to just hear a little bit about your story of like what were you doing before App Academy and what made you decide to become an engineer?
Yeah. So I actually was an engineer. I studied bioengineering.
Gotcha.
And so, I was doing that kind of thing. I actually came out of school doing academic research. So I was working in a lab for a little bit with like DNA replication, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I got a job at NASA for a little while. Was working on some of the bio devices related to building the next spacesuit. But, I think along the way, I kind of got a little bit of experience scripting. I wrote just small scripts to analyze DNA at first, and it kind of grew into a hobby that later grew into a passion. And I decided, I enjoyed these scripts and the little bit of programming that I learned better than my day job. So at that point, that was when I really decided to take the leap.
Yeah, and I definitely can relate because I was doing some scripts when I was working as a project manager, and I think that's the best way to get your feet wet. So you mentioned that you already had a bioengineering degree and you're writing these scripts. A lot of people ask themselves whether they should teach themselves how to code, do it on their own, or do a coding bootcamp. So what was your process like for how you picked App Academy versus teaching yourself how to code?
Yeah, I think, teaching yourself is probably important just because, if you jump straight into a boot camp, you don't even know if you like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for as hard as they are, and for as difficult as they can be, I think it's not something you just want to jump in without at least testing the waters first. So, with me, it was a very organic process. Like, I didn't even hear about App Academy until maybe a couple months before I was about to quit my job. And I was actually getting ready to go back to school so I could get a master's in computer science or computer engineering. And it was at that point my significant other at the time was in an internship. One of the engineers there had gone through App Academy, and she connected us, and I decided, why not? Why not? If I get in, great. If I don't, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. So at that point, did you look at any other boot camps, or were you just set on App Academy?
I was really just set on App Academy. It was I think the thing that really was attractive to me at the time was the payment model. It felt like I can't go wrong with a school that is basically guaranteeing me a job, and
or they don't get paid. So
even if I don't get a job, right, I don't know anything. And literally all I've done was spend 3 months learning how to code, and now I can really go to a master's program with some good experience under my belt, you know. And so, I felt like it was really a win-win situation at that point. So I looked into them just because I wanted to research what other boot camps were out there and kind of where App Academy stood. And, after looking up, I felt like it was definitely one of the best, if not the best, in terms of the curriculum and reputation out there. And, the price model just made it too attractive to turn away from.
Definitely. Yeah. And what was cool is you and I met back in 2014. It's 2017 now, about to be 2018. What happened? Where did you end up after App Academy? And how has your career developed as an engineer?
Yeah, so after App Academy, I think I spent the next maybe 4 to 6 months really just perfecting my craft, So it was a lot of projects, a lot of time at home, kind of programming and just applying to jobs, and you know, I ended up bumping into some engineers and manager from one of the companies that had originally inspired me to get into tech, Walker and Company. And you know, it just so happened that I was pretty fortunate, man. My skills had gotten to the point where I felt confident talking to them, and they were looking for, you know, a junior developer, someone that they could kind of bring up with at the company. And yeah, it ended up really being my dream job, and I've been there for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And I know that when you're picking a company, the team and the type of mentorship that they provide is super important. With Walker and Company, they also have a unique product that they built. Can you share what Walker and Company stands for and what attracted you to them?
Yeah, I think it was really just their idea around diversity and inclusiveness, and you know, our kind of like our motto and drive is creating and making health and beauty simple for people of color. So all of our products, all of our brands are really inspired out of you know, addressing a market that hasn't really been addressed yet, and addressing a group of people that, you know, tech hasn't really spoken to very often, you know. And that's what really inspired me to want to join the company. And you know, we have currently 2 brands. We've got a men's brand called Bevel, and it's a shaving system designed to help prevent razor bumps. And so it's just this really, you know, streamlined product. It's a safety razor, but then you also get a whole kind of like kit. So it comes with the pre-shave oil, aftershave, the shaving cream, all natural, just really like top of the line ingredients. It is really designed to address the hair care needs of each individual person and their hairstyle, right? So you come to the website and you take a 15-minute consultation, and then we design a kit designed for specifically your needs, of products, and also just a regimen designed for each individual person based on their lifestyle. Yeah,
and I think it's very important to note that especially for folks outside of tech, a lot of the times people associate like apps or websites with technology, but Walker and Company, you're not just a tech company, you also have products. You have products like shaving creams, razors that people use. So can you explain how does tech tie into a business model of like creating these products?
Yeah, I think tech really, you know, is important nowadays, because I think it takes a lot of these products to the next level. You know what I mean? So like when you're talking about form, right? We have maybe I don't know, 10 to 12 different items. You know, shampoos, conditioners, pomade, different things like that. And where the tech fits in is that, you know, we have an algorithm that is designed to address each person individually, right? So you come to our site, and by the end of the consultation, you know exactly what your hair needs from our you know, like suite of products that's for your hairstyle and your lifestyle, you know, and where you live.
So technology enables
the algorithm.
The algorithm enables you to create a very unique and custom recommendation that if you had to do it manually, you wouldn't be able to scale that recommendation to millions of people. And by leveraging technology, you're able to address everyone's needs. One last question, we're about to wrap up, but what advice do you have for someone tuning into this video, for someone who is maybe considering doing a coding bootcamp or considering becoming a software engineer, and they're just starting out?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my biggest advice would just be to stay curious, you know, and prepare yourself, you know. I think App Academy was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. That's including college. And while it was, you know, clearly life changing,
Yeah.
it was one of those experiences that there's no amount of preparation you can do for it. You know what I mean? So, you know, just prepare as much as you want and you know, try to find that passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot for taking the time to share.
Yeah.
I hope you guys feel inspired and stay tuned.